Fever All Access episode about Kelsey Mitchell. And I'm a Kelsey Mitchell money Mitch, put him in a... Raven Johnson draft night just piling on and piling on and piling on and piling on. Raven. Stephanie White. Fans hate Stephanie White. Caitlin Clark fans do not like listening to Stephanie White. We do not like hearing Stephanie White. We do not like looking at Stephanie White. We don't like it when her arms are crossed. We don't like it when she's twitching. We don't like anything Stephanie White does. It's come to that point.
The arena lights are bright, but the seats are staying dangerously empty. Stephanie White just realized that the Caitlin Clark effect works both ways. Fans aren't just being quiet, they are actively walking away, and the panic inside the Indiana Fever front office is reaching a boiling point. The narrative they tried to build has officially backfired, leaving the most hyped season in WNBA history on the verge of a total collapse. It's not just a rough start, it's a full-blown mutiny from a fan base that feels betrayed by the leadership. The silence in the stands is screaming louder than any marketing campaign ever could, and the clock is ticking before the season is lost for good.
Now you know we were using that same damn catchphrase from last year. Why does it feel like the Fever are running a full PR campaign for Stephanie White instead of promoting the actual players paid to see? I'm sure she's a nice person, but she is not the franchise superstar, nor do fans pay to watch her. Fans are not stupid. Stop trying to force her on the fan base. We'll decide if she deserves support once we see the offense and how CC is being used, not parked in a corner getting iced out again. Stop trying to manufacture approval through non-stop propaganda videos and put that...
Fans are calling a spade, and the verdict is brutal. The Indiana Fever marketing team is pushing a trio that nobody asked for: Stephanie White, Kelsey Mitchell, and Raven Johnson. They are flooding social media with all-access episodes and Money Mitch clips, but the one person everyone paid to see is being treated like a background character. It's a marketing strategy that feels like it was designed in a vacuum, completely ignoring what the audience actually wants. Now, the backlash is hitting the bottom line, and the franchise is scrambling to figure out why their billion-dollar asset isn't moving the needle the way they promised.
And how CC is being used, not parked in a corner getting iced out again. Stop trying to manufacture approval through non-stop propaganda videos and put that energy into the product on the court instead. Damn! Stephanie White, you're in for a long season, sweetheart. If this team doesn't come out the gates like a freight train, it's gonna be a dark couple weeks. Shout out to John. I gotta be honest, it's gonna be a rough couple of weeks if this team stumbles out the gates. If you guys lose this home opener on Saturday, oh Lord.
Let's talk about the Stephanie White effect, and it's not the kind of impact the league was hoping for. Fans are openly admitting they cannot stand the sight of her on their screens. Whether it's her crossed arms, her constant twitching, or those mic'd up segments where she sounds more like a cheerleader than a professional head coach, the disconnect is massive. People aren't just annoyed, they are visceral in their dislike. One fan even claimed that if Stephanie White gave them $100, they'd still find a reason to complain because they simply don't trust her vision for this team or its superstar rookie. This isn't just criticism, it is a total rejection.
It's gonna be a rough couple of weeks if this team stumbles out the gates. If you guys lose this home opener on Saturday, oh Lord. Oh, Scott Agnes, you want to talk about dark side? You want to talk about the dark side? You still don't get why your ticket prices dropped. Please make it stop. That's how I feel listening to Stephanie White. When Stephanie White gives her press conferences and her interviews in between practice, that's how I feel. Like, make it stop, please. Make her just stop. Stop. Every interview is just word salad. Interview with Kelsey and Elite.
The frustration has reached a point where every new interview feels like a word salad designed to distract from the lack of results on the court. While Stephanie White is busy giving exclusives and practice tape clips, Caitlin Clark is nowhere to be found in the primary promotions. It's mind-boggling to think that the biggest star in the world wasn't even featured in the ticket-selling promotions for 3 straight days. Fans are asking the obvious question, why is the coach being promoted like she's the franchise superstar while the actual generational talent is being parked in the corner? It feels like the team is running a PR campaign for a coach instead of a basketball team.
Conferences and her interviews in between practice. That's how I feel. Like, make it stop, please. Make her just stop. Stop. Every interview is just word salad. Interview with Kelsey and Aaliyah looking bored, made me want to vomit with the glazing. Having promoted CC on the Indiana site is mind-boggling. Totally not there for 3 days. Not in the promotion to sell tickets. What the hell? This year, I no longer follow the Indiana Fever. And it continues. You heard him. See you Sunday.
All right, guys. Season opener Saturday. You better be there. 1 p.m. See you then.
Yeah.
It gets even weirder when you look at how the team is being handled behind the scenes. There's a full PR campaign running for Stephanie White right now, trying to manufacture approval through non-stop propaganda videos. Fans are seeing right through it. They don't want to see a coach waving pom-poms. They want to see an offense that actually uses Caitlin Clark's gravity. Instead, they're seeing CC getting iced out and used as a decoy while the veterans take center stage. If this team doesn't come out like a freight train, the next few weeks are going to be incredibly dark for everyone involved in this organization. The manufacturing of approval is failing.
Heard him. See you Sunday.
All right, guys. Season opener Saturday. You better be there. 1 p.m. See you then.
Yeah. Folks, the Indiana Fever, this is said in jest, of course, some humor involved. The Indiana Fever is so desperate to sell tickets, they got Sophie Cunningham with her pants down. The Indiana Fever are so desperate to sell tickets, we got Sophie Cunningham with her pants down in these damn marketing videos.
Ticket prices are the ultimate truth teller in sports, and right now, the Indiana Fever are watching their value plummet. After the initial hype, prices are dropping because the fans are refusing to pay $400 a ticket just to watch their favorite player play power forward. For a family of 4, that's $1,600 plus food and travel just to watch CC be on Stephanie White's leash for 2 hours. Many fans are deciding it's much easier and cheaper to stay home, order takeout, and watch on ESPN rather than supporting a front office that they feel is actively suppressing their stars' game. The financial consequences of these decisions are becoming impossible to ignore.
Wow. So when it's time to sell tickets, you have the 2 most popular girls front and center, but everything else is in the background. No thanks. I'll be on the Ben Daniels live stream. Salute to the venue. Salute to everybody who comes through to the venue. Won't watch or spend a penny as long as this front office and coach are employed. Damn. 1 ticket on average is $400. If you're a family of 4, now you got to cop 4 tickets plus a hotel plus food and beverage to watch CC play power forward and be on Stephanie White's leash for 2 hours. When can I just watch the game on ESPN and order takeout? Worm, come through to the venue, Worm. Come through.
The Three Stooges, or the Three Busketeers. That's what critics are calling the leadership group of Amber Kelly and Stephanie White. They are accused of successfully destroying a fan base that was ready to explode with support. The resentment isn't just about basketball strategy. It's about a perceived lack of respect for the fans. Allegations have surfaced that the team allowed liars to label the fan base as racist without standing up for them. Now, that same front office is asking for those fans' money, and the answer from a huge portion of the community is a resounding and very loud no more. The bridge between the organization and its supporters has been burned to the ground.
Empty seats, reduced revenue is all you deserve. Folks, this is getting bad. Every time I look at an Indiana Fever post, they are getting fried. The noise, when you free Caitlin to be Caitlin, many fans will make the noise you want to hear again. Keep minimizing and oppressing her game, and the quieter things will get. It's immoral to squash your 1-of-1 and call it strategy. It's gross, it's BS, and it's ruining everything. Sheesh. The Indiana Fever, counting down to Sunday, switching the court.
The addition of Raven Johnson has only added fuel to the fire. Fans haven't forgotten the history or the comments, and they see her inclusion in the Big 3 marketing push as a direct insult. It's being described as piling on and piling on until the fans simply can't take it anymore. When you combine a controversial roster move with a coach that the fans are already revolting against, you get a recipe for a PR disaster. The Fever are trying to force a narrative that just isn't sticking, and the more they push Raven, the more the fans pull away from the entire Indiana Fever brand. It is a textbook example of how to lose an audience in record time. Desperation is a stinky cologne, and the Fever are starting to reek of it. There are claims that the marketing team has resorted to incredibly low tactics just to grab attention and sell remaining seats. References to players being used in compromising ways in marketing videos have surfaced, showing just how far the organization is willing to go to fill the arena. It's a sad state of affairs for a team that should have been the gold standard of the league this year. Instead of focusing on the high-level basketball Clark provides, they are stooping to lows that have left the longtime supporters feeling completely embarrassed. This is not the professional environment fans expected. The home opener is looming, and the pressure is unlike anything Stephanie White has ever experienced. If this team stumbles out of the gates, the dark side of the fan base is going to make its presence felt. We're talking about a situation where the stadium might be quiet, not because of a lack of noise, but because the seats are literally empty. Fans are warning that there won't be any noise at all because they refuse to pay to see Caitlin Clark playing off ball or as a small forward. It's being called immoral to squash a one-of-one talent in the name of a failed coaching strategy, and the fans are making their voices heard with their wallets. The silence will be deafening. Even the physical environment is reflecting the chaos. There was confusion over why the Pacers' court was still being used when the Fever should have been the priority. It's just another sign of a franchise that wasn't ready for the spotlight it fought so hard to get. While they are busy counting down to the season opener, they are also busy waiving players like Megan McDonald, Jessica Timpson, and Kiana Traylor. They are desperately trying to fix the roster on the fly, perhaps bringing in someone like Marta Suarez to fill gaps in the front court, but many feel these are just band-aids on a gaping wound caused by poor leadership. The foundation of the team feels unstable. The glazing in the media isn't helping either. Fans are reporting feeling literal nausea watching interviews where Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell look bored while the coach receives endless praise from the media. The disconnect between what the cameras show and what the fans feel is growing every single day. Every time the Fever post on social media, they are getting fried in the comments section. It's a relentless wave of anti-management sentiment that shows no signs of slowing down. People are done with the word salad and the propaganda. They want to see the generational talent they were promised. The media's attempts to fix the image are only making things worse. One of the most damning critiques is that the team is minimizing and oppressing Caitlin Clark's game. Fans who have followed her since Iowa know exactly what she is capable of when she's allowed to be herself. Seeing her parked in a corner or on a leash is a direct insult to the game of basketball in their eyes. They view it as a gross misuse of a historic asset. The sentiment is clear. If you won't let CC be CC, then we won't be there to watch. This isn't just about winning or losing anymore. It's about the integrity of the sport and the respect shown to a player who changed the game forever. The fans are protecting the legacy of their favorite superstar. Stephanie White's body language during press conferences is being analyzed like a crime scene. Fans are pointing to her twitching and her defensive posture as signs that she knows she's in over her head. They describe her interviews as painful to watch, begging for her to just stop. The more she speaks, the more fans seem to check out. It's a rare case where the head coach has become the primary villain of the story, overshadowing the players and the games themselves. This level of animosity toward a coach before the season even starts is unprecedented and points to a massive failure in internal communication. The coach has lost the locker room of public opinion. The drop in revenue is the only thing that might actually force a change. Fans are openly wishing for reduced revenue as a punishment for the front office's perceived arrogance. They feel that since the team hates the fans but wants their money, the only logical response is to withhold that money entirely. The Stephanie White effect is being cited as the direct cause for why games are still not sold out despite having the biggest draw in sports history. It's a staggering reality check for an organization that thought they could coast on Clark's fame while ignoring the desires of her massive and loyal following. The financial pain is just beginning for this franchise. Social media has become a battleground where the Indiana Fever are losing every single day. Every post is met with a barrage of unhappy fans pointing out the flaws in the marketing and the coaching. The noise the team wants to hear, the cheers and the excitement, is being replaced by a deafening silence or sharp criticism. The message is being sent loud and clear: free Caitlin to be Caitlin, or prepare for a season of empty arenas and financial losses. The fans are no longer willing to be manipulated by flashy videos and catchphrases that don't match the reality of the product on the court. The digital revolt is a clear sign of the deep-seated anger. There's a sense that the franchise is desperate to move tickets, but they are targeting the wrong people. By focusing their marketing on Stephanie White and veterans who haven't embraced the new era, they are alienating the millions of new fans Clark brought to the league. These fans aren't loyal to the Fever brand yet. They are loyal to Caitlyn. When they see her being pushed to the background, they don't see a reason to stick around. The all-access episodes focusing on other players are being seen as a direct snub to the person who is actually generating the interest and the revenue in the first place. The marketing strategy is effectively driving customers away. The situation with Monique Billings and Aaliyah Boston adds another layer of stress. With injuries and health concerns lingering, the front court is a major question mark. If the team starts losing because they didn't properly support their stars, the heat on Stephanie White will become unbearable. Fans are already predicting a rough couple of weeks if the home opener goes poorly. The grace period for this coaching staff is non-existent. They are operating on the thinnest ice imaginable, and any mistake will be magnified by a fan base that is already looking for a reason to jump ship and find something else to do on Saturday nights. The margin for error is zero. Many are questioning the strategy being used by the coaching staff, calling it BS and gross. There is a deep-seated belief that the organization is trying to prove they can win without making it the Caitlyn Clark show, but that ego-driven approach is backfiring. Basketball is a business of stars, and Clark is the sun that everything else should revolve around. By trying to force a balanced approach that sidelines her, the Fever are effectively dimming their own lights. The fans see it, the critics see it, and soon the empty box office numbers will make it impossible for the ownership to ignore any longer. The ego of the management is destroying the team. The countdown to Sunday is feeling like a countdown to a disaster for some. Instead of a celebration of a new era, it feels like a confrontation between a stubborn front office and an angry fan base. The decision to waive certain players while keeping others who fans feel have been disrespectful has created a toxic environment before the first tip-off. The marketing team's attempt to use the same damn catchphrases from last year shows a lack of creativity and a failure to understand the magnitude of the moment. They are trying to treat a revolution like it's just another Tuesday, and the fans are absolutely not having it. The disconnect is total. One of the most painful realizations for fans is that they feel the team hates them. This sentiment stems from the lack of defense against accusations, and the feeling that their voices are being silenced by the propaganda coming out of the team's PR department. When a fan base feels that the organization they support doesn't value them as anything more than a paycheck, the relationship is broken. No amount of Money Mitch clips or Stephanie White interviews can fix a fundamental lack of respect. The Fever are learning the hard way that you can't buy loyalty with marketing. You have to earn it with action. The bond of trust has been completely severed. The panic mode isn't just a headline, it's a reality reflected in every frantic move the team makes. From switching courts to last-minute roster changes, the organization looks like it's scrambling to find a footing it never established. The Stephanie White effect has become a cautionary tale of how not to handle a generational talent. Instead of building a culture of excitement, they've built a culture of resentment. The upcoming home opener isn't just a game. It's a referendum on the entire leadership of the Indiana Fever, and the verdict from the fans is already looking like a guilty charge for mismanagement. The stakes have never been higher for this team. Ultimately, the Indiana Fever are at a crossroads that will define the franchise for a decade. They can continue down this path of icing out their biggest star and ignoring the fan revolt, or they can pivot and actually give the people what they want. If Stephanie White doesn't loosen the leash and let Caitlyn Clark play her game, the dark weeks ahead will turn into a dark season, and potentially a dark era for the team. The fans have shown they are willing to walk away, and in a league where momentum is everything, losing that support is a death sentence. The ball is in their court, but the clock is nearly at zero. The future of the team is on the line.